That's arson, all right, Tony. Someone's arson around. This
The
is
whole world's on fire.
ARSONATE. This is Steam Next Fest. We're talking about roguelike games. And first up here we have weird looking PSX, almost, horror card game. It is what I could describe as basically buckshot roulette is probably the closest thing I could describe it to, if you know about that game. That was, Russian roulette in a club where you just have to, but you have weird items. This is a card game where you're in a burning tower with a man with a gas mask, and basically every turn you have to flip over a card on your side of the board, and the person who has to flip over their tower and set it on fire loses the game. So essentially what I figured out was like, you're trying to take as little turns as possible, because surely the less cards that you flip over, the more your opponent has to flip over, and then they have to flip over their tower and lose the game.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So as you play through the game, you'll flip over and sometimes you get items, and basically this thing will come down and give you an item. So the hatchet, which you can store as a utility, will let you like destroy a certain card. So they'll be like, like in buckshot roulette, you could see the future, or you could peer into the shotgun and be like, oh, okay, there's gonna be a live. Let's change that. You can use like the spyglass and go, oh, this is a bad, because so there's three types of cards. There's a normal fire card, which if you turn it over, it's just basically nothing happens. You basically are one step closer to continuing the forest fire. You turn over the wrench, you get an item. That's the best card. That's the worst card. That means you have to go again. So you're trying to get your opponent to turn over the other people's cards.
It really is Uno logic in terms of you don't want.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the crowbar, which you can use to steal your opponent's items, which is where the utility things comes in. Right. So you might want to use your items so they can't be stolen if you think your opponent's going to get a crowbar. And apparently in normal mode, you can crowbar a crowbar. So you can steal a crowbar. Okay. So I'm using my spyglass here. It's an item card. I want to flip that one over. I do want an item. But yeah, it reminds, like, it's literally, buckshot roulette is about taking as little turns as possible because you don't want to shoot yourself in the head. So, and forcing your opponent to take more turns. It is very similar to buckshot roulette in that sense. And if I was going to compare it to a more like wide game, it kind of reminds me of Gwent. Like Gwent is just about item. Like Gwent, the card game in The Witcher 3 is like literally trying to play as many spies as possible while playing as little cards as possible so that you can draw more cards and play less cards. It's all about having card advantage in your opponent, right?
Yeah.
So all you're doing in this game essentially is, because I only played it, the game only had normal mode available. There was an easy mode, but I was like, oh fuck it, I'll just play on normal mode. And apparently the higher the difficulty goes up, the more your opponent cheats. So I didn't really see him cheating that much on normal mode, but I wonder how that changes the game. But yeah, you can extinguish cards in order to force them to be replaced by the deck. So like it, for example...
They're not burn...
Yeah, that was a pretty bad play because I didn't know what I was doing. But for example, if I spyglassed under one of my cards and I went, oh, there's a... this is the gasoline. This burns a card. Oh. So he's going to like burn a card on my side to make the fire spread quicker. And then he's stolen my item card.
Oh, and he gets it. Oh, okay.
But like if I spyglassed on my side and I saw that, there's an extra turn card here, I might want to swap it with the neutral deck, or I might want to, if I had an axe, destroy it. Because you can cancel the effect of a chosen card with the axe. But gasoline is just like a better version of the axe, because you basically get to... it, as well as destroying a potentially positive effect on your opponent's side, you can also spread the fire quicker, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically the whole game. It is quite simple. It's at least in the normal mode. It's you're in a weird club game playing against a random, horror-looking creature, and you're just playing a card game. I love these sort of games. I love Buckshot Roulette. I love Inscription, and I'm excited to see like what it's going to be like with the full release. I know they're working on a multiplayer update for Buckshot Roulette now, which I think is going to be really interesting.
Just that 1v1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of being against the AI dealer, you'll be against another person.
Yeah.
Which I think will be interesting to see. He's putting out his fires.
So just flip it back? Oh, okay.
He swapped it with a card in the neutral deck because he extinguished it. Which means he knows that... Well, I'm thinking about it now. He specifically put a item card back into the neutral deck. So if he's going to swap one of his cards with the neutral deck, he would want to do it when the neutral deck is more stacked with item cards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like these really simple strategy games. Like, I love card games, so this is right up my alley.
It's like
And then eventually I forced him to
in a bigger game, just like a challenge mode.
Yeah, I'm more interested to see like how far because games like Buckshot Roulette were really short, and I felt like a couple of hours of playthrough, it was like, okay, I'm kind of done with the game now. So when he flips over his tower, a tower in the distance flips over, like actually falls down, and I feel like there's eyes looking at me in the flames. It is very like creepy sort of thing, but I'm interested to see how much legs this game has because it's pretty fun, but I don't know for how long ARSONATE will be. But yeah, you get a key to the door, and then that's the end of the demo.
You leave?
I don't know.
Oh, we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know.
It's integrated away.
Yeah, apparently it was made in Pirate Software's Game Jam as well, which I thought was interesting. They're turning it into like a full game. Let's talk about Ballionaire, which I had described to me as like a Peggle roguelite, but I feel like it's very much not Peggle. Because like Peggle is more a puzzle game, and this is more like this reminds me more of like a venture cap. It's more like a clicker game than anything else.
Right.
Essentially what is happening is you have a tower which has a pegboard, and you basically have to make a certain amount of money in order to progress to the next round. Kind of like Big Blinds and Balatro, right? Where it's like you need to make a certain amount of money. So you can place pegs on the peg. It's like a pachinko board. So you drop a ball down, and it bounces off stuff, and you place these neutral ones that you own, and then they give you effects. So like if you bonk the tree, you get $200. And then you have these pinball bumpers that, will bump them up. But then you have like synergies, like with the rope, it bumps stuff up, and you want to keep constantly bumping the tree in order to get more and more money in one turn sort of thing as it goes along. One thing I'll say about this is it was super fucking overwhelming. And there is so many like micro synergies they've put into this game. And it is very overwhelming at first. What makes a game like Balatro beautiful is it is a really simple concept that has nuance over time as you kind of explore the more the difficulty and the different combos and stuff. This game starts you at 11, which I feel like is a pretty bad way to get people. I feel like the best way they could have done this tutorial is give me a board and give me like 3 different peg types that send me in different directions, and then just see where I go from there. That would have been like a better way to introduce me to the game.
Yeah.
But the demo at least was like, No, here's every single peg in the game. And it's like, oh, here's the cactus. This is for a strategy if you don't want to hit the pegs. Here's the teleporters. Teleporters are good at the bottom because then you can re-teleport to the top and you can get the wallet. And if you put the wallet in the piggy bank, you can bank that and that'll give you banking over time. And then if you get investment pegs, then you can go for a more investment strategy. But there's also the water ball strategy. And in water balls, you can hit the cloud with the arrow peg and then that summons the waterfall. And it's just like, bro, this is so much information overload. What is going on? But like games like this made me really appreciate Ballionaire. Like when I look at a game like Ballionaire, it is essentially a risk mitigation game. It is about like trying to take the randomness and make it in your favor as much as possible.
Yeah.
This is a game that is just a auto-clicker game with almost complete random. Like there's strategies of like, okay, I'm going to put teleporters down here and bounce pads. But this game is really fucking random. Like you have... Well, it's not a risk mitigation game in the same way, but it is very like...
No.
RNG, let's place a bunch of shit here and hope it hits this sort of thing.
Yeah,
like there is.
I mean, the midway is more like
the risk mitigation in this game is like you can re-roll to get certain pegs you want. There's an option to remove pegs from the board, but I wanted to like this game more than I did. I played it for about 30 minutes. I got pretty far, and I was like, you know what? I want to like this game because it's interesting and it's sort of more towards my wheelhouse. But I didn't really like it that much. I'll be honest with you. It's definitely interesting.
Being a random on a peg thing, I feel like
because like
I don't know, not limiting,
people were saying people were saying, oh, it's like Peggle. I'm like, no, Peggle is a really like strategic, satisfying puzzle game that's about clearing a board. This is a game that is about basically optimizing, earning money. This is the cookie clicker version of Peggle.
Yeah, I think there is similarities to Peggle, but I think it's
with more randomness to it.
Don't I know what pegs in Peggle?
Sorry?
They're not pegs and like randomly like
there is 3 types of pegs in Peggle. No.
Yeah.
In Peggle you have blue pegs, which give you normal score.
The going down. Yeah, sure.
You can. There's a power up that will even show you the exact Bjorn the unicorn. His green. So there's 3 pegs in Peggle. Blue pegs, which are for score and getting out of the way to hit the other pegs. Orange pegs, you have to clear all the orange pegs to complete a level, and there's green pegs, which let you unlock your hero's ability for 3 turns. The idea of Peggle is you're just trying to clear all the orange pegs.
But you don't. But once it's hit, but
using trigonometry.
The prediction won't tell you what happens afterwards. Like it is going on a route.
Yeah,
that's like going. I'm going to kick this ball. It's guaranteed to go hit if I knew where it was going, but I have no idea.
In Peggle, you can get to a point where you can become skilled enough to know where a peg is going to bounce off. It's like
Okay.
What's it called? Trigonometry? Is that the right word?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, you'll have some sort of some trick stuff.
And Bjorn is really good for beginners because he essentially is teaching people, this is how pegs are going to bounce off. And then once you learn that, you can take some of the other hero powers that are like, okay, and now here's a hero power that lets you have a ghost ball, so your ball will fall from the top again, or stuff like that.
I still feel like that's a lot of learning to like get used to that, where it still feels random the way it bounces off stuff. And I think if you're a casual player, you will treat it.
But it's nowhere near as random as what this is.
No.
This has so much RNG, it's insane.
But I would still say you're still like hitting things on a board.
No, because also in Peggle there is the bucket at the bottom. And the bucket at the bottom is interesting because you have a limited amount of pegs, but one of the best strategies is to try and clear orange pegs by bouncing them off the orange pegs into the bucket. And if you get into the bucket, you don't lose your ball. I think Peggle is actually a strategy game in disguise. Like, it's actually quite a strategic game, Peggle.
Yeah.
Especially compared to a game like this.
Yeah, sure. I was saying that this is like 100% random because like it is just like the whole point of this was always be like
This is
to randomly
not
choose what you're
Peggle
doing
is
because it is literally random.
Peggle is not a pachinko machine. This is literally a pachinko
This is
machine.
this is a thing like you get taught in physics like to explain like chaos theory because technically it's deterministic in the real world, but like little tiny changes at the top will change where it goes down and you can't predict it.
Yeah.
So it might as well be random.
But yeah, there is Ballionaire. Seems people like this one. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of it, despite it being a fairly good game if you're into that sort of thing. I don't know. Then next up we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. So this was a Apple Arcade exclusive. So it's clearly designed for mobile. And then it was coming to Switch. And now it's coming to Steam and PC as well. But this is essentially a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles roguelike game that has like a progressive story to it. So it's basically been said like it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hades-like game almost.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's got
yeah
story outside of the multiple runs.
Which that's I was cool. Like, oh, that's intriguing. Like
Dead Cells, like Hades, yeah.
Again, it's another licensed game. I thought it was fine. Like, if you're a big fan of the Turtles, I mean, there was some characters There was some characters that I didn't know. Like, I was like, why are the Giga Chad Ninja Turtles here?
Who the Giga? What? Who are they?
I'll see if I can find them.
I was gonna say now. I find a lot of the voices from a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like hit or miss. It's been a while since I've had a good Leo voice actor. This is what I imagine Leo could sound like.
Yeah, it was like a simple Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hades. Like, it was pretty fun. Like, you level up, and you get these abilities that push you in certain directions. You have weapons you can find in the run called tools, so you can get like tasers or stuff like that. Hang on, I'll see if I can find this character I was talking about. Slash. Oh. These are not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they are very much the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Somebody who knows the deep lore of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're the Giga Chad versions of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
More mutant? More mutated? I don't know.
But yeah, I could definitely see myself like... This feels like a very good like Steam... Like it feels like a mobile game. It's like... Yeah. You would put you put a bunch of time grinding, because there's upgrades you get back at the base sort of thing.
Like you unlock permanently sort of thing.
Yeah, there's permanent unlocks, and then there's like a story that goes on through it, right?
Right. Okay.
Because there's these dragon coins you can collect. So it's like, hey, if you don't want to take immediate power now, you can take these dragon coins back to the base and spend them on upgrading your... That's how you upgrade your character, so you can get like more health, more attack, like permanently sort of thing.
So you actually have the choice between less power now. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, but honestly, my thoughts on this, it was pretty inoffensive. It wasn't anything where I was like, oh man, the movement and the combat in this game is really good. I was like, it's fine. I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I could definitely see myself like playing this on my Steam Deck or even my phone if I, had Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
Although it would be... No, I think you definitely want to play this with a controller. Yeah, I just think you would want a controller.
That's my... Big issue with a lot. As
someone who has literally played Hades on a mobile touchscreen, it's pretty fucking awful compared to like mouse and keyboard or controller.
Because like something like Balatro or
Slay the Spire
card game. That's it. Like you're just moving cards around. Like
like Hearthstone
on a screen. That's fine.
Super Auto Pets. They all work really well on mobile. I've played all those.
Anything that's like do stuff quicker and move stuff about, or like move in a 3D or a 2D plane, like it's not gonna work.
But yeah, that's the roguelike games I've been playing. There is another roguelike game, there's another miscellaneous game, and there's another movement game, but they're all in the favorite section. So we'll be talking about that in the the final video of my favorite games of the Steam Next Fest, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.